Hello everyone. This story is an update from the previous story. Ex-wife, 33F, won't stop trying to contact me and it's messing me up. By user RuPaulC5, on the sub-post on the Infidelity forum. So let's dive right into this. So I did exactly what I had intended to do. I called her up and told her that I wished to go completely no contact for a few months. For a few seconds, I heard nothing her end, long enough for me to ask her if she even heard me. She said she me and started fumbling for words once again. I explained to her that it was not any fault of her, it was just me that was finding it difficult to move on with my life if we kept talking. She said she understood and promised not to contact me. Before hanging up, she asked me if I was planning on completely cutting her off. I bluntly told her that I was not planning to do so at the moment, but I might change my decision in the future. She told me it was alright, that I deserved to do whatever I needed to get over it, and told me that she would try to find a new job during these months. With that, I bid her farewell, and proceeded to block her on all platforms. A few hours later, her sister called me up. She told me I had made a good decision, especially since ex-wife needed this NC period too. She only did a part-time job, hardly ever went out, and spent the entire day going through old pictures. Thus, at least for the moment, I feel like I have made a good decision. A lot of people have messaged me asking me several questions that were left untouched in the original post. Here, I would like to clear out some. 1. How long has the affair been going on? According to her, they first had sex when she went on a work-related trip to another city, which was about 1 month before D-Day. Now, she claims there was no sexual tension between them before this trip, but on the other hand they had been working together in the same office for about 3 months, so I really can't tell if she's lying. 2. How did she behave in the days before D-Day and immediately after it? In the few weeks before D-Day, when her affair was ongoing, I did not really notice anything out of the ordinary. I am generally a very perceptive individual. The usual signs of an affair, such as increased conflict, anger, blaming, trying to keep one's phone close by at all times, I did not notice any of it with her. In fact, she only grew quieter every day. I figured it was because of the problems she was facing in work, and had a good talk with her. She hugged my chest and cried for several minutes, and I did my best in comforting her. We also had a lot of sex that week, as we usually did every week. I feel kind of embarrassed saying this, but we did a role play with her as a criminal and me as a policeman who caught her and then had forceful sex with her. It was her idea. In hindsight, it does make some kind of sense now, though it kinda messed me up. Apart from that, I noticed nothing out of the ordinary. On the day of discovery, she was dazed throughout the ordeal. It seemed her brain was switched off, she just looked at me with wide eyes, tears streaming down, and just nodded when I told her to wait for her elder sister while I left back to work. Later, my sister-in-law later called me up to tell me that my ex-wife was nowhere to be found. I was preparing to go out in search of her, when she called again to tell me that she found ex-wife walking around in a dazed state around our neighborhood. She was either searching for me or for her AP. I don't know which. In her sister's house, she apparently also tried to harm herself physically, but then calmed down and had some rest. 3. Is she still talking to her AP? This is one point that I failed to mention in my original post. She quit her job immediately after D-Day. According to her, she could not bear to see AP there every day. I had anticipated that she would use this opportunity to ask for a heavy stipulation from the divorce, which made it even more bizarre that she didn't. 4. Was she really talking to her AP on the phone when you stumbled upon her on the footpath? Frankly, I don't know, and I haven't asked. 5. How was your relationship after the divorce? We did have an NC period of about 1 week after the divorce. Later, she called me up and asked me if I could consider keeping a friendly relationship with her. I saw no harm in it, so I agreed. We agreed that we would not talk about the divorce or our married life. We just asked each other about work and about how we were doing. As for the frequency of contact, I would say minimal, 1 or 2 texts per day maybe, and sometimes none for days. Sometimes we would talk over call, but not for long periods. We never met physically. She did once drive over when I was ill, but was not allowed to actually meet me physically because I was in the isolation ward. 6. Have you tried therapy? Of course. I have been in therapy since D-Day. Ex-wife went to a therapist for the first 2 months after the divorce, but then stopped going for no apparent reason. Some people in the comment section seemed to misunderstand my original post. They kept posting comments asking me to consider reconciliation. I would like to reiterate that my original post was about whether I should block her or not, and not about reconciliation. I made the decision to not reconcile a long time ago, and my ex-wife has accepted it. It is not about how much she regrets and mourns over it. I am simply incapable of trusting her again. Once again, a very sincere thanks to everyone who commented. Red Porsche Killa said, "Hi Op, I commend you for your stance and upkeep of values. As many others stated, NC would be the healthier way for you to move on. But you are being very professional about how to handle your interaction with the ex. Q, what did you do with the bed, mattress and linen? I hope you discarded it and placed something new for yourself. Despite your stance, which is outstanding and definitely will help you to heal, you will be getting confronted with triggers for a long time. So mementos in remembrance of this awful day will always poke at you. All the best for you and your future." OP said, "First of all, thank you. Thankfully, her sister took care of cleaning their mess up for me. I saw nothing but a few ripped packets of condoms in the dustbin outside. Moreover, even though I did say bedroom, they were not having sex on the bed, they were doing it on a couch. I do not know if they used the bed prior to moving to the couch, and I do not intend to find out. I sold all my furniture off anyway." It is great that OP was able to go NC with his ex-wife. It will help him move forward in life and serve his mental well-being greatly as well. OP continues to treat his ex-wife with respect, even after everything she has done to him. OP is a better man than I will ever be. I find it weird that his ex-wife said OP can do whatever I need to get over it. Like the divorce was his fault. I'm happy that OP can move on with his life and not have to have contact with his ex-wife anymore. The one thing OP should never have agreed to do is agreeing to have any relationship with his ex-wife after the divorce. I think it's best to sever ties with his ex-wife after the divorce for some time until OP has moved on. I think his ex-wife saw this as a chance to continue her contact with OP. In my opinion, there should be no contact with a former spouse after the divorce, so that they can focus on their own well-being, unless they need to co-parent. As for the roleplay, that is messed